cruisers, I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com. Welcome back to Cruise Questions today. We're answering some of the questions that have come in on YouTube over the past few weeks. We love doing this. It's just an opportunity for us to connect with you outside of the comment field. We can actually have face-to-face time telling you a little bit about some of our best cruise tips. We're going to get right into it with our first question that came from our subscriber, Paisley Simone. Paisley said, can you explain the parking at the Long Beach port for Carnival Cruise Terminal? Do you pay before or after your cruise? And by the way, guys, if you see me looking down, it's because my notes are in front of me, so please forgive me, but I have to reference something at some point. So Paisley, it's so simple and so easy. When you pull into the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, you're going to take a ticket out of the machine. You're going to want to keep that ticket with you the whole time. I suggest not leaving it in your car, put it in your wallet or in a safe place, and you are going to pay when you check out. It is $23 per vehicle per day at the moment. So we are recording this in December of 2022, and that's the current pricing you pay at the end. It is fully covered parking. It's very safe. We have parked there year after year, never with any problems. Sometimes the delay can be a little intense getting out of the parking structure, but usually it's relatively quick and you can just pay with a credit card or cash as you leave the facility. Melissa Real 6545 says, love your videos and podcasts. We're going on our second Norwegian cruise. I don't really understand the personalization very well on Norwegian. I couldn't book excursions or restaurants until we were on board. Once on board, I felt like I was scrambling on a game show to win the dining slots we wanted and the excursions we wanted. Is there an easier way? I know. The last time I went on a Norwegian cruise, I felt the same way about freestyle dining. I felt like I had to look at the board and see what was crowded and do different reservations every day, and I personally found it very overwhelming. So if you cannot pre-reserve before you get on the ship, here is my suggestion for you, Melissa. This is what we did. We booked everything on day one. So we actually picked up the phone and called the dining line and said, here's what I want. Please make me a reservation for every night. And I just wrote them down and I had it done. I could not handle dealing with that whole reservation thing every day. Not my jam. So I feel ya. The excursion thing, I would do the same thing. As soon as the excursion desk opens, and I know it's so hard for planning if you don't know your excursions pre-cruise. I don't really know how this works on Norwegian right now, but if your package doesn't allow you to book it till you're on board, do it on day one and just knock it out, get it out of the way. I feel you, Melissa, I feel you. Wild Daisies 1067 says, we always cruise Royal Caribbean and we'll be taking our little one for her 4th birthday on an 8-night Eastern Caribbean and perfect day at the end of January. Haven't sailed since the pandemic started. Have you noticed any differences sailing after the pandemic, the check-in process, the buffet, activities on or off the ship? Thanks. Well, Wild Daisies, this really varies from cruise line to cruise line, ship to ship, and sailing to sailing. Have there been changes? Maybe a little. I think some of the cruise lines are still a little bit short-staffed. Honestly, we have found boarding to be more fast and efficient since the pandemic resumed. Things are just a lot more paperless, which is really nice. And I think you're cruising at a really good time. I personally feel that the food quality across all the lines has gone down just a teeny tiny bit. And I don't know exactly why that is. I don't know if it's just that food is more expensive, if it's supply chain issues, if they're trying to save money, but I kind of feel just things are a little bit less phenomenal than they used to be. But again, I've had some absolutely amazing cruise meals. So this is just if I had to pick something kind of a thing. To me though, I think things are fabulous. I think they're pretty much back to normal and cruising has never been better. So I would go into it with a really open mind and a positive outlook. All right. Domo Slay said, how about help for solo travelers in getting the best deals? Here's what I would recommend that you do. I don't have a huge amount of experience with solo travel booking, so I'm going to ask our community to comment below if you have solo deals tips. But here's another one. Go onto Facebook and onto forums like Royal Caribbean Blogs Forum, Cruise Critic, and I want you to look for solo cruiser forums, solo cruiser groups. Join those groups, start interacting, and see if you can get their best tips. And of course, use a travel agent. Lauren said, do cruise lines plan on expanding pool time after midnight for adults? And are you planning on cruising the new cruise ship that just got built? I think Lauren's talking about Icon of the Seas. Lauren, I don't think the cruise lines are going to open up pools after midnight. I don't see them expanding that service right now. And we don't have plans to book on Icon of the Seas, but you just never know with us. We're always kind of last minute cruisers, so we'll see what happens. Shirley McNichol, 4281, says, I'm planning an Alaska cruise and would love information on and advice on ports and shore excursions. Oh, lucky you, Shirley. I love Alaska. It's so fun. I'm going to link to some of my favorite Alaska resources down in the description of this video because there's too many to list on this video, but let me give you a really short answer. In Juneau, I always recommend that people get out to Mendenhall Glacier. In Ketchikan, anything to do with totem poles is really, really fun. Skagway, the White Pass Rail rocks. Victoria, make sure you get off the ship if you're stopping there. And lastly, be sure to check out our Alaska cruise packing tip articles on our website, which I will link to for you because we have all kinds of Alaska packing tips for you, and we're happy to share all of those. All right. Ooh, we're getting close to the end. Just 2 more questions. Ice Team Mama 176 says, recommendations for Bermuda, please. Sailing on Norwegian Prima in April, 2 nights in Bermuda. Oh my gosh. I went on and started looking at excursions in Bermuda that you book outside of the cruise line. There's so many cool things that you can do. Go onto websites like TripAdvisor, Viator, and you can start researching them. But listen to some of these great things that you can do. A famous homes and hideaway cruise in Bermuda. How fun does that sound? A luxury catamaran excursion, a Bermudaful island tour, a diving helmet excursion. That sounds a little wild. Island wraparound tour. That sounds fun. It's like a motor coach tour around. Catamaran sail and snorkel, twilight cruises. There's just so many things that you can do, and you can definitely book independently. So get out there, have some fun, and don't feel like you have to book with the cruise line, especially if you're there for 2 days. Our last question today comes from Rucker 1977. Recommended activities for Costa Maya. Oh, I love Costa Maya, and my favorite thing to do there, I actually learned about it from Matt at Royal Caribbean Blog. It is to go to a place called Maya Chan. Maya Chan is a beach club. It's very, very zen and mellow. Wonderful food, a great little beach. Sometimes the seaweed can be a little icky in the water, so I don't want you to have visions of perfect crystal blue water because it's not always that way. But it includes transportation and it's fabulous. Just get in direct touch with them. If you don't want to do that, there's a lot of different things you can do. There are ruins that you can go see. There's a place called Bacalar Lagoon that a lot of people go to. There's all kinds of beach breaks and stuff like that. So do something, get away from that port area if you can. I always recommend that in Costa Maya. I wouldn't just walk around. It's really not made for that because the port area is really just kind of built by the cruise business, so there's not really much authentic to see. All right, folks, that wraps up our Q&A this week. We want to just give a special thanks and shout out to our Patreon community at patreon.com/CruiseTipsTV for their awesome support. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.